Watch for Renaud Chariot on the outside and Timothy Chariot on the inside. And Nader coming wide for Portugal. Nader for Portugal from Wightman on the...
Jake Wightman was running towards the finish line with the gold medal almost in his hands in Tokyo. He was winning the race. His dad was talking on the stadium speakers, telling everyone what was happening. It looked like Jake was about to win his second world title. But then, in the last few steps before the finish, something shocking happened that nobody expected. So what really happened in those final seconds? And how did Jake even make it to this race after years of terrible injuries? Let's start from the beginning and find out the full story. Back in 2022, Jake Wightman shocked the world. He beat the best runners on the planet to win the World Championship 1,500-meter title in Eugene, Oregon. His father, Jeff, was the stadium announcer that day, and he got to tell the whole crowd that his own son just became world champion. It was like a movie.
He's closing, but he's looked over his shoulder. Jake Wightman with the performance of his lifetime. He joins Steve Cram as a world champion.
But after that amazing moment, everything fell apart. First, Jake hurt his foot in 2023. Not just a small injury, he broke his foot while doing jumping exercises. That injury was so bad he couldn't run for months. He had to miss the entire 2023 season. He couldn't even try to defend his world title in Budapest. Then, in 2024, things got even worse. Jake tore his calf muscle. After that healed, he tore his hamstring. This happened just 1 week before the Paris Olympics. Jake was already with the British team, already wearing his Olympic uniform at their training camp, but he had to pull out. He couldn't race. Jake later said these weren't small problems. He explained, "I wasn't getting niggles. I was getting 2-month injuries every single time, and it wasn't the same recurring one. Every time he thought he was getting better, a completely different part of his body would break down." The injuries kept coming. In early 2025, Jake hurt his knee. The meniscus in his knee was torn, and he needed surgery. Doctors had to cut away the damaged part. All of this took a huge toll on Jake's mind. He was 31 years old now. Most runners retire by that age. He started wondering if his body was done. Jake admitted, "I probably got a little PTSD, almost, with what happened with these injuries. That's how bad it was." The injuries hurt his mind as much as his body. The relationship with his father became really hard too. For 15 years, Jeff had been Jake's coach. They'd been together through everything. But the pressure and stress of all the injuries made things difficult between them. In March 2025, Jake made a painful decision. He announced he wouldn't be coached by his father anymore. Jake wrote on Instagram, "The point has come in my career where both physically and mentally we both need to go our separate ways. By doing this, we ensure there's plenty more to come in the future, not as a coach divided by athlete, but as a father divided by son, away from the intensity and stress of training and racing." It was an incredibly hard choice, but Jake knew he had to try something different. He said, "You can't just keep hammering the same stuff and expect the same outcome." So Jake made huge changes to his whole life. He started working with a new coach, John Hartigan, who is actually the father of Jake's fiancée, Georgie. Jake and Georgie moved from London, where they'd lived for 8 years, all the way to Manchester. Why Manchester? To be closer to Jake's physiotherapist, the person who could help fix his broken body. Jake completely changed how he trained too. He ran fewer miles each week. He did more cross-training instead of just running. He cut back on the really hard workouts. He was learning to respect what his body could handle instead of pushing it too far. But even with all these changes, Jake still had doubts. He said, "Honestly, it has been a very, very bleak couple of years for me. A lot of times I doubted if I could make it back to this level." When Jake got on the bus to go to his first race at the World Championships in Tokyo, he made a promise to himself. If he didn't make it through that first round, he was done. He would quit running forever. He was 31, his body kept breaking, and he didn't know if he had anything left. Meanwhile, the 2025 World Championships were supposed to be all about other runners. Everyone was excited to see a rematch from the Paris Olympics. The Olympic final the year before had been incredible, with 4 amazing runners battling it out. But one by one, all those Olympic stars disappeared. Yared Nuguse, who won bronze at the Olympics, didn't even make the American team. He finished 5th at the US Championships. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, one of the biggest stars in running, got hurt too. He had problems with his Achilles tendon and couldn't train properly. He tried to race anyway, but got eliminated in the very first round in Tokyo. Cole Hawker won the Olympic gold medal, but he got disqualified in the semifinals in Tokyo. The officials said he pushed Germany's Robert Farken unfairly while trying to get past him. That left Josh Kerr, who won Olympic silver. Kerr was the defending world champion too, so everyone thought he would win. But during the final race, something terrible happened. After just 900 meters, Kerr's calf muscle seized up. He started limping badly. He was in so much pain but kept trying to run. Eventually, he could barely move and finished in last place, more than 30 seconds behind everyone else. With all the favorites gone, a new runner became the favorite, Niels Laros from the Netherlands. He was only 20 years old and had been winning big races all summer in the Diamond League. But Jake Wightman was still there. Against all odds, after everything he'd been through, Jake had made it through the first round. Then, the semifinals. He actually felt good. For the first time in years, he felt like himself again. Jake said, "It was only these heats and semifinals that I really felt like, this is me again." Before the final, Georgie did something sweet. She went to a shrine in Tokyo and got Jake a good luck cat figurine. Her father, John, Jake's new coach, gave it to Jake during his warm-up. Jake remembered thinking, this is heading towards something special. The final started, and the race was slow at first. Everyone was watching everyone else, waiting for someone to make a move. Josh Kerr was at the back, trying to stay in the race despite his injury. Niels Laros was perfectly positioned near the front. Jake was in a good spot too. With 200 meters to go, Jake made his move. It was the exact same move he made when he won the world title in 2022. He surged from third place all the way to first. He was running hard, arms pumping straight and strong. His father Jeff was in the stadium again, announcing the race just like in 2022. Jeff started thinking, this is it, first man ever to regain the title, the only one of the current era to win too. For just a moment, it looked like the perfect fairy tale was about to come true. Jake was sprinting for the line. He could see the finish. He thought he had it. But then, out of nowhere, a runner in lane 3 came flying past everyone. His name was Isaac Nader from Portugal. Most people had never heard of him. He wasn't a favorite. He wasn't even expected to medal. Nader ran the final 100 meters in just 12.28 seconds. That's incredibly fast for the end of a 1,500-meter race when everyone is exhausted. Jake ran his final 100 meters in 12.9 seconds, which is also really good. But Nader was just a little bit faster.
The inside, and Nader coming wide for Portugal. Nader for Portugal from Wightman on the line. What a run! What a finish! Nader can't believe it, neither can Wightman.
The two runners crossed the finish line almost at the exact same time. Jake immediately collapsed on the track from exhaustion. He'd given everything he had. When he looked up at the big screen to see the results, his heart must have sunk. Isaac Nader, 3 minutes, 34.1 seconds, gold medal. Jake Wightman, T 3 minutes, 34.12 seconds, silver medal. The difference was 0.02 seconds. That's 200ths of a second. If you blink, you take longer than that. It was so close that they needed a photo finish to determine the winner.
He's flying! He will be! Get out of this universe!
Ladies and gentlemen, 10:36.
Gout just broke a 5-6-year-old record, and he's only 17. The name might sound unusual, but his speed is rewriting history. What he did in under 20 seconds left even seasoned athletes speechless. He was born in Ipswich, Queensland, Australia, in December 2007, into a family of Dinka heritage whose journey led them from South Sudan to Egypt, then to Australia. His parents, Bona and Monica, settled there before he was born. The name Gout is actually a misspelling that occurred during administrative registration. His family name was originally transliterated as Gua or Guat, but now Gout, pronounced to rhyme with pout, is the name the world knows, and it's becoming one that track and field will never forget. From early years, his path to sprinting greatness started not on a track but on a soccer field. He played football as a child, honing athleticism and footwork even before he had committed fully to running. Over time, his speed became unmistakable. At Ipswich Grammar School in Queensland, his talent became more visible. He shifted focus from soccer to athletics and began to shine in youth competitions. By age 14, he had already run 100 meters in 10.57 seconds. In April 2023, as a 15-year-old, he broke the Australian under 1/8 200-meter record at the Junior National Championships in Brisbane, running 20.87 seconds. That was his first real announcement to the country. He was someone to watch.
Gout from Queensland, 20.87.
In 2024, he took things to another level. He ran 10.29 seconds to win the under 1/8 100 meters in Queensland, and at the Australian under 2-0 championship later that year, he took the 100-meter title. At the World U20 Championships in Lima, he won silver in the 200 meters with a time of 20.6 seconds. In December of the same year, he exploded onto the scene. He ran a 10.04 inches the 100 meters, though wind-assisted, and then turned around and ran 20.04 inches the 200 meters, breaking a 5-6-year-old Australian and Oceanian record previously held by Peter Norman since 1968. Norman's record was 20.06. That 20.04 officially became the new area record, and the performance put Gout on the map in a big way. In early 2025, Gout lit up the Australian Championships with a 19.84 inches, the 200 meters, and a 9.99 inches, the 100, both wind-assisted but jaw-dropping. Even without official records, he made one thing clear: he was already performing at elite levels. Then came perhaps his most important breakthrough to date on a stage he had never before raced on. On the 24th of June 2025, in Ostrava, Czech Republic, at the Golden Spike meet, he ran exactly 20.02 seconds with legal wind. That performance broke his own Australian and Oceanian record and ensured that this time would go down in the books. He beat Cuban Rainier Mena by 0.17 seconds, showing composure and strength late in the race. In doing so, he became the fastest Australian ever in the 200 meters at just 17 years old. That race was more than a record. It was symbolic. It was his first senior international race, and he delivered under pressure. He described feeling calm, trusting his training, and simply doing what he loves running. In that moment, the world of athletics took notice not just of his speed, but of his potential to grow even more. His personal bests now stand at 10.17 seconds in the 100 meters with legal wind and 20.02 seconds in the 200 meters. He has run faster in some races, but in those cases, tailwinds disqualified them from record status. He also has a 400-meter time of 46.2 seconds. Because of those wind-assisted runs and his breakthrough, Australia named him to its team for the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo. At Tokyo 2025, competing in the 200 meters, he made it out of the heats running 20.23 seconds, but in the semifinal he ran 20.36 seconds and did not progress to the final. It was a valuable lesson. The world stage is different, margins are tight, and consistency matters more than momentary brilliance. If you look at his strengths, they're clear. He has long strides, speed endurance, and an exceptional capacity to close strong, particularly from 100 to 200 meters. Many analysts compare him to Usain Bolt, especially in his build, ease, and raw speed at a young age. But Gout has also been vocal that he wants to be Gout, not a clone of someone else. He wants his own identity in the sport. With that comparison comes pressure. Expectations from media, fans, and even from within are enormous. People already speak of Olympic gold, world titles, and a legacy that can weigh on any teenager. How he handles defeat, inconsistency, injury, and the daily grind will define if he can transcend from prodigy to legend. Technically, the areas to refine are obvious. Startups need work. In elite sprinting, shaving off hundredths at the gun matters. Consistency across rounds, ability to deliver under fatigue, and mental focus in races where nerves compete, all these will need polishing. As he competes more internationally, he must adapt to different tracks, climates, travel, and competition. The jump from fastest junior in the country to top senior in the world doesn't happen by raw speed alone. In Australia, he already has rivals. Lachi Kennedy, for example, is a sprinter who has challenged him domestically. Kennedy won the 200 meters at the Maury Plant meet in Melbourne in 2025 ahead of Gout, clocking 20.26 seconds. The competition internally will push him. Aidan Murphy is another name in national sprinting circles. Facing rivals keeps him sharp and prevents complacency. His selection for the 2025 World Championships was earned not just for potential but results. Though he did not reach the final, gaining that experience at age 17 is rare. The heat, the pressure, the global field all will only help him. In the coming years, he will learn how to manage rounds, how to peak, and how to maintain speed across multiple events. Gout's prime years are likely ahead of him. He'll be 20 at the 2028 Olympics and 24 when the Games come to Brisbane in 2032. Those are prime years for sprinters, and many expect him to peak on home soil. But getting there won't be easy. Avoiding injuries, handling pressure, and staying consistent will be key. His steady climb from 20.87 to 20.02 seconds, with flashes of sub-10 speed in the 100 meters, shows just how high his ceiling could be. At just 17, Gout made his European debut in Ostrava and shocked everyone by breaking the 200-meter Oceanian record again. It wasn't just about the win, it was proof he belonged on the world stage. What comes next? That's the real question. Can he stay healthy, handle the pressure, and keep climbing? If he does, By 2032, Gout might not just be the fastest in Australia, he could be one of the fastest in the world.
That was so close. Seville from Thompson. Lyles at last is beaten.
Not first place, no.
Still got a smile on your face.
A huge smile. It's a crazy season. Injuries, rushing the season, using a lot of those rounds.
Noah Lyles isn't the fastest anymore. Just months ago, he was on top of the world. Now he's struggling to stay on the podium. And two new names have taken over the 100-meter spotlight, and neither one is Lyles. How did it all fall apart so quickly? Kishane Thompson, once an under-the-radar Jamaican sprinter, has stunned fans and rivals alike by clocking a blistering 9.75 seconds. Kenny Bednarek, previously known more for his 200-meter finesse, has stepped up with a powerful 9.79. Both men are running faster, more consistently, and with more hunger. Meanwhile, Lyles, with his recent 9.89, is not just falling behind, he's falling off the radar. Noah Lyles was once crowned the world's fastest man, a title that came with weight, legacy, and global recognition. Known for his blistering pace in the 200 meters and growing dominance in the 100 meters, Lyles seemed unstoppable. But in the fast-moving world of elite sprinting, things change quickly. Now, a new wave of competitors is not just challenging him, they're outrunning him. Kishane Thompson and Kenny Bednarek have emerged as serious threats, leaving Lyles struggling to hold his position in a field he once ruled. At his peak, Lyles was unmatched in the 200 meters. His explosive finish, smooth technique, and charismatic presence made him a fan favorite and a consistent champion. In 2022 and 2023, he ruled the track, clocking a jaw-dropping 19.31 inches the 200 meters, the third fastest of all time. He also began focusing seriously on the 100 meters, aiming to become the undisputed sprint king. That ambition paid off at the Paris 2024 Olympics, where Lyles claimed gold in the 100 meters with a 9.79, narrowly beating out Jamaica's Kishane Thompson by just 0.05 of a second. It was a defining moment, a peak that placed him at the pinnacle of world sprinting. But 2025 told a different story. The competition caught up and in some cases blew past him. Kishane Thompson, relatively unknown just a couple of years ago, exploded into the spotlight. His run of 9.75 at the Jamaican Championships wasn't just the fastest time of the season, it was one of the fastest in history. Thompson backed that up with consistent sub-9. 90 performances throughout the Diamond League circuit, proving he's not a one-race wonder. His wins in Silesia and Prefontaine showed he's capable of dominating on multiple stages. Thompson's rise is not just a story of raw speed. It's a story of timing, momentum, and relentless focus. In 2024, he nearly snatched Olympic gold from Lyles. In 2025, he came back stronger, faster, and more determined. His 9.75 placed him among the top sprinters in history, and his ability to win under pressure is quickly making him the new favorite in the 100-meter world. Then there's Kenny Bednarek. Unlike Thompson, Bednarek is no surprise contender. He's been steadily improving, especially in the 200 meters, where he's already proven himself with Olympic and world medals. But in 2025, Bednarek took a significant leap in the 100 meters. His performance at the U.S. Championships stunned the field. He clocked a 9.79, equaling Lyles' Olympic winning time. Even more impressive, he did it despite cramping up mid-race. That kind of grit speaks volumes. The dynamic between Bednarek and Lyles is also becoming one of the most talked-about rivalries in track and field. After Bednarek beat Lyles in the 200 meters at the U.S. Championships, tensions flared. Lyles pushed Bednarek at the finish line, a moment that sparked headlines and speculation about internal team friction. Bednarek later said he had no bad blood, but the gesture said plenty. It's not just about who's fastest anymore, it's about pride, ego, and legacy. Meanwhile, Lyles has been trying to maintain his footing. His best 100-meter time this year is 9.89, a solid number by most standards, but not enough in today's hyper-competitive environment. In a season where others are running 9.75 and 9.79 consistently, a 9.89 puts you in the middle of the pack. At the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, Lyles managed to secure bronze in the 100 meters, but the gap was clear. Seville won gold with 9.77. Thompson took silver at 9.82, and Lyles' 9.89 wasn't enough to defend his status. That race might have marked the turning point. It wasn't just that Lyles lost, it was how decisively he was beaten. The confidence he once exuded has been replaced with a more cautious demeanor. His starts have been slower, his finishes less explosive, and his control over the race diminished. For a man who once claimed he'd go down as the greatest ever, the slip has been both swift and painful. But this isn't just about numbers on a stopwatch. It's about perception. Once you start losing races, the narrative shifts. Sponsors start wondering, fans start questioning, and rivals smell blood. Lyles now finds himself in the unfamiliar position of having to prove he still belongs at the top. His 200-meter dominance remains, but even that is under pressure as younger sprinters improve.